In the year 500,000 after humanity vanished, a distant alien race known as the Velthari were exploring the galaxy. The Velthari were known for their advanced technology and curiosity about the universe. They had traveled to many planets, but Earth was just a distant memory. Long ago, they had heard stories of a blue planet filled with life, but that was long before humanity had disappeared. One day, while scanning the stars, the Velthari detected a strange signal coming from the direction of Earth. It was unlike anything they had encountered before. The signal pulsed rhythmically like a heartbeat. Intrigued, the lead scientist, Zarek, gathered his team in the control room. "Listen to this," Zarek said, his eyes wide with excitement. "It seems to be a message, but it is unlike anything we have seen." The team listened closely as the signal echoed through the room. It had a pattern, a language of sorts, but it was old and distorted. The other scientists exchanged glances filled with wonder. Could it be a remnant of humanity, still trying to communicate after all this time? "We have to investigate," Zarek urged. "This could be a significant discovery for us. We must see what remains of Earth." The Velthari prepared their ship, the Starfire, for the journey. As they traveled through space, they could feel the excitement building among the crew. They wondered what they might find. Would there be remnants of human civilization? Or had Earth turned into a barren wasteland? After a long journey, the Starfire entered the solar system. The planets looked familiar but ancient. They soon approached Earth, now covered in thick clouds and strange colors. The atmosphere shimmered with an unusual glow. As they descended, the Velthari noticed strange structures peeking through the clouds. These were not the bustling cities they had imagined. Instead, they saw ruins, overgrown with plants and vines. Nature had reclaimed the land. But then something caught Zarek's eye, a glimmer beneath the surface of the ocean. It was a large shape moving slowly. "Prepare to scan that object," Zarek commanded. The crew quickly operated their equipment, eager to uncover the mystery. The screens lit up, revealing a massive fleet of ancient ships lying dormant beneath the waves. The fleet was unlike anything they had seen before, with sleek designs and powerful forms. Each ship was adorned with symbols and markings that hinted at their advanced technology. Zarek's heart raced. Could this fleet be the remnant of humanity's advanced civilization? "What are these ships doing here?" one of the crew members asked, bewildered. "Didn't humanity vanish?" "I believe they were hidden," Zarek replied, staring at the screen in awe. Perhaps they anticipated their own disappearance and created a way to survive. The crew was buzzing with excitement. They had found something truly remarkable. These ships could hold the key to understanding humanity and their lost technology. But they also realized the significance of their discovery. This fleet could be dangerous if it were to awaken. They needed to proceed with caution. "Let's investigate further," Zarek said, his voice firm. "We must understand what we are dealing with." As the Starfire hovered over the ocean, Zarek and his team began to gather data. They focused on the ships, analyzing their structures and components. The more they learned, the more they marveled at the technological wonders hidden beneath the waves. "This technology is advanced far beyond our own," one scientist remarked. "It's as if they were preparing for a battle that never came." Zarek nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and fear. What had happened to humanity? Why had they left behind such a powerful fleet? As they continued their analysis, they were unaware of the consequences of awakening this ancient power. They had stumbled upon a secret that could change the course of their future forever. In the year 500,000 after humanity vanished, a distant alien race known as the Velthari were exploring the galaxy. The Velthari were known for their advanced technology and curiosity about the universe. They had traveled to many planets, but Earth was just a distant memory. Long ago, they had heard stories of a blue planet filled with life, but that was long before humanity had disappeared. One day, while scanning the stars, the Velthari detected a strange signal coming from the direction of Earth. It was unlike anything they had encountered before. The signal pulsed rhythmically like a heartbeat. Intrigued, the lead scientist, Zarek, gathered his team in the control room. "Listen to this," Zarek said, his eyes wide with excitement. "It seems to be a message, but it is unlike anything we have seen." The team listened closely as the signal echoed through the room. It had a pattern, a language of sorts, but it was old and distorted. The other scientists exchanged glances filled with wonder. Could it be a remnant of humanity, still trying to communicate after all this time? "We have to investigate," Zarek urged. This could be a significant discovery for us. We must see what remains of Earth. The Velthari prepared their ship, the Starfire, for the journey. As they traveled through space, they could feel the excitement building among the crew. They wondered what they might find. Would there be remnants of human civilization? Or had Earth turned into a barren wasteland? After a long journey, the Starfire entered the solar system. The planets looked familiar but ancient. They soon approached Earth, now covered in thick clouds and strange colors. The atmosphere shimmered with an unusual glow. As they descended, the Velthari noticed strange structures peeking through the clouds. These were not the bustling cities they had imagined. Instead, they saw ruins, overgrown with plants and vines. Nature had reclaimed the land. But then something caught Zarek's eye, a glimmer beneath the surface of the ocean. It was a large shape moving slowly. "Prepare to scan that object," Zarek commanded. The crew quickly operated their equipment, eager to uncover the mystery. The screens lit up, revealing a massive fleet of ancient ships lying dormant beneath the waves. The fleet was unlike anything they had seen before, with sleek designs and powerful forms. Each ship was adorned with symbols and markings that hinted at their advanced technology. Zarek's heart raced. Could this fleet be the remnant of humanity's advanced civilization? "What are these ships doing here?" one of the crew members asked, bewildered. "Didn't humanity vanish?" "I believe they were hidden," Zarek replied, staring at the screen in awe. Perhaps they anticipated their own disappearance and created a way to survive. The crew was buzzing with excitement. They had found something truly remarkable. These ships could hold the key to understanding humanity and their lost technology. But they also realized the significance of their discovery. This fleet could be dangerous if it were to awaken. They needed to proceed with caution. "Let's investigate further," Zarek said, his voice firm. "We must understand what we are dealing with." As the Starfire hovered over the ocean, Zarek and his team began to gather data. They focused on the ships, analyzing their structures and components. The more they learned, the more they marveled at the technological wonders hidden beneath the waves. "This technology is advanced far beyond our own," one scientist remarked. "It's as if they were preparing for a battle that never came." Zarek nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and fear. What had happened to humanity? Why had they left behind such a powerful fleet? As they continued their analysis, they were unaware of the consequences of awakening this ancient power. They had stumbled upon a secret that could change the course of their future forever. With every passing moment, the mystery of Earth deepened, and the Velthari were eager to unravel the truth. They were about to discover that humanity's legacy was far from over. As the Velthari crew of the Starfire continued their investigation, excitement filled the air. They had discovered the ancient fleet lying beneath the waves of Earth, but they knew that their journey was just beginning. Zarek, the lead scientist, was determined to uncover the secrets hidden within these massive ships. "Prepare to launch a probe," Zarek instructed. The crew quickly followed his command, sending a small robotic drone into the water. It glided smoothly beneath the surface, heading toward the nearest ship. The tension in the control room was palpable as everyone watched the screens, eager to see what the probe would reveal. The probe's camera activated, showing images of the sunken vessels. Each ship was decorated with intricate carvings and designs, glowing faintly in the dark water. As the probe approached one of the ships, the Velthari crew gasped. It was a warship with enormous cannons and defensive shields that seemed to pulse with energy. "Look at that technology," one crew member exclaimed, eyes wide with wonder. How could they have built something so advanced? Zarek focused intently on the images. This was no ordinary fleet. "It looks like they were ready for a major conflict," he said, his mind racing. But why did they leave it behind? As the probe collected data, it began to pick up faint energy readings from within the ship. "There's still power running through these vessels," another crew member reported, excitement rising in their voice. "We might be able to wake them up." Zarek felt a mix of thrill and caution. "We need to be careful. We don't know what we're dealing with yet. Let's gather more information before we make any moves." The probe continued its exploration, moving deeper into the wreck. It passed through a shattered opening in the hull and entered the interior of the ship. The screens showed rooms filled with strange machines and devices, many covered in layers of dust and coral. It looked like time had stood still inside this ancient vessel. Suddenly, the probe's sensors detected something unusual. "We're picking up life signs!" a crew member shouted. "There are still organisms alive in here." Zarek's heart raced. What kind of organisms? He asked, leaning closer to the screen. The crew analyzed the readings carefully. It looks like microscopic life forms, another crew member explained. They've adapted to the environment. It's incredible. Zarek pondered the implications. If life can survive in such conditions, what else might be hidden here? His curiosity only grew stronger. They needed to learn more about these ships and the people who had built them. After several hours of probing, Zarek decided it was time to act. Let's bring the probe back and prepare for a more in-depth investigation. We need to find a way to enter one of the ships safely, he instructed. As the probe returned to the Starfire, the crew began to brainstorm ways to access the fleet. They analyzed their options and finally came up with a plan. They would create a specialized device to open one of the ships from the outside. After working tirelessly, the crew completed their device and was ready to proceed. Zarek felt a wave of excitement and nervousness wash over him. This could be our greatest discovery, he said, gathering the team around him. But we must remember to stay cautious. We don't know what we'll find. The crew agreed, and together they launched the device toward the nearest ship. It attached to the hull and activated, creating a small opening. Zarek led a team into the water, equipped with protective suits and oxygen tanks. As they swam toward the ship, he could feel his heart pounding with anticipation. Entering the ship through the opening, they found themselves in a vast chamber. The walls were lined with strange symbols and glowing panels. It felt like stepping into a time capsule. "This place is incredible," one crew member whispered in awe. They moved deeper into the ship, examining the technology and the remnants of what seemed like a control center. Suddenly, Zarek noticed a console that was still operational. "This could give us information about the fleet and its purpose," he said, moving closer. He activated the console, and the screens flickered to life, revealing data about battles fought long ago, missions planned, and a haunting message, "We will return." The crew exchanged worried glances. It seemed that humanity had anticipated danger and had left behind a warning. Zarek's excitement turned to determination. They needed to learn from this legacy, and the secrets of the past would help them understand what had happened to humanity and their own future. The Starfire crew was now on the brink of uncovering the truth about Earth's hidden fleet and the legacy of a vanished civilization. The adventure was just beginning, and the Velthari knew they were in for a ride they could never have imagined. With the discovery of the ancient fleet beneath the waves of Earth, the Velthari crew of the Starfire felt a mix of excitement and responsibility. Zarek, the lead scientist, was determined to awaken the dormant ships. The crew had learned much from the console, and now they needed to act. "We have a chance to revive this fleet," Zarek said, addressing his team. "But we must proceed with caution. We don't know what we might unleash." The crew nodded in agreement, their eyes bright with anticipation. They began preparing to activate the ships, gathering the necessary tools and equipment. Zarek knew they needed to channel the remaining energy within the vessels. If they could do this, they might bring the fleet back to life. "Let's start with the energy readings we collected," Zarek instructed. "We can focus on the ships that showed the most power. If we can figure out how they operated, we might be able to restart them." The team worked together, using advanced technology to analyze the energy signatures. After hours of intense study, they identified the strongest ship, a massive war vessel named the Defender. Its power source was still active, although it lay deep in the ocean's grip. "Let's move to the Defender," Zarek said, his voice steady. "If we can revive this ship, we might be able to learn how to awaken the others." The crew prepared their diving gear and boarded the Starfire. As they descended toward the Defender, the water darkened, and the ancient ship loomed ahead, almost ghostly in the depths. Zarek felt a rush of excitement as they approached the vessel. Once at the ship, they deployed their equipment and began to assess the situation. The hull was covered in coral, but the energy readings indicated that the ship was still functional. Zarek led his team to a panel on the side of the ship, where they could access the core systems. "Let's see if we can connect our systems to this one," Zarek suggested. The crew carefully hooked up their devices to the panel, hoping to tap into the ship's power. As they initiated the connection, the panel flickered to life, glowing brightly. "We're in," one crew member shouted. "The systems are responding." Zarek felt a thrill of victory. "Now, let's try to restart the power core," he instructed. He worked swiftly, entering commands into the console. The crew watched with bated breath as lights began to pulse around them. Suddenly, alarms blared, echoing through the chamber. "What's happening?" A crew member yelled, panic rising in their voice. "Stay calm," Zarek shouted, focused on the console. "It's just a system reboot. We can handle this." As Zarek pressed a series of buttons, the alarms gradually quieted and the ship's lights stabilized. Then, slowly, the engines began to hum. The crew exchanged glances, a mix of fear and excitement. Could they really be reviving an ancient warship? After what felt like an eternity, a voice echoed through the chamber, deep and resonant. Power restored. Systems online. It was the ship's AI, a remnant of the past. Zarek felt chills run down his spine. "Can you identify the crew?" he asked, eager to know if the ship remembered its history. "Crew not found. All systems operational. Ready for command," the AI replied, its tone neutral. Zarek smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment. "Let's prepare to bring the ship to the surface," he said, looking at his team. "We can't just leave it down here." With the crew working together, they began to engage the Defender's systems. The ship shook as it started to rise from the ocean floor, breaking through the surface with a loud splash. The crew cheered as they emerged into the sunlight, feeling a rush of victory. As the Defender floated on the surface, Zarek looked at the majestic warship with pride. "We did it! We've revived the fleet!" he exclaimed. But as they celebrated, Zarek couldn't shake the feeling of unease. They had awakened a powerful force, and with it came uncertainty. What had caused humanity to vanish? And what dangers might lie ahead now that the fleet was alive again? As they began their initial scans of the area, Zarek and the crew realized they needed to prepare for the future. They had reawakened the Defender, but the secrets of humanity still lay hidden beneath the surface. They needed to uncover the truth behind the vanished civilization and understand their own role in this new reality. With a newfound sense of purpose, Zarek set to work, knowing that the Velthari were now guardians of humanity's legacy. The adventure had only just begun, and the mysteries of the past were calling to them. The Starfire floated majestically on the surface of the ocean, and aboard the Defender, the Velthari crew buzzed with excitement. They had revived an ancient warship that had lain dormant for centuries, but with this achievement came the weight of responsibility. Zarek stood at the helm, staring out at the horizon, filled with both hope and apprehension. "Now that we have the Defender, we need to find out more about humanity's fate," Zarek said, gathering his team. "Let's see if we can access the ship's database for more information." The crew nodded eagerly, rushing to their stations. They connected their devices to the ship's systems, hoping to uncover records of the past. As the screens lit up, a series of ancient files and data streams flooded in, each revealing pieces of humanity's long-lost history. "Look at this!" one crew member exclaimed, pointing at a map that appeared on the central display. It showed Earth as it once was, teeming with life, cities sprawling across continents. "This is a record of their population and culture." Zarek studied the map carefully. This was their world, vibrant and full of potential, he said, a hint of sadness in his voice. "But what happened to them?" As they scrolled through the files, they stumbled upon a series of logs that detailed the last days of humanity. Zarek read aloud, his voice growing heavy with each word. "The logs describe a great war, one that threatened the very existence of humanity. They made a decision to save what they could by going into hiding, placing their most advanced ships in stasis until it was safe to return." A hush fell over the room. The crew understood the implications of this revelation. Humanity had not vanished. They had chosen to preserve their legacy. "We need to find out if any of them are still alive," Zarek said, determination rising within him. "If we can locate their hidden bases or outposts, we might be able to help them return." The team quickly began to analyze the data for clues. Hours passed as they pieced together the information. Finally, one crew member pointed at a series of coordinates. "This could be a location of a stasis facility," they said. "It's on a remote island." Zarek's heart raced. "Let's prepare to investigate. This could be the key to bringing humanity back." They set the coordinates into the Defender's navigation system, and the ship roared to life, slicing through the waves. As they approached the island, the crew's excitement grew. What would they find? When they arrived, they found the island lush and green, untouched by time. Zarek led the crew ashore, hearts pounding with anticipation. "Stay alert," he warned. "We don't know what we might encounter." As they ventured deeper into the island, they stumbled upon an entrance hidden beneath vines and foliage. The entrance led into a vast underground complex. Zarek could hardly contain his excitement as they descended into the darkness. Inside, they found rows of stasis pods, each one shimmering with a faint blue light. "This is it," Zarek breathed, awestruck. "This is where they preserved themselves." As they approached the first pod, the crew's eyes widened. Zarek pressed a button on the control panel, and the pod hissed open. Inside lay a human, suspended in a deep sleep, surrounded by a glowing energy field. The crew exchanged nervous glances. "What if they don't want to wake up?" a crew member asked, concern etched on their face. Zarek paused, contemplating the question. "It's a risk we have to take. They deserve to know the truth about their world." With a nod of determination, Zarek activated the rest of the pods. One by one, they opened, releasing clouds of vapor as the humans inside began to stir. Confusion mixed with fear on their faces as they looked around, bewildered by their surroundings. "Welcome back," Zarek said, stepping forward. "You are safe now. We are here to help." The humans blinked in disbelief, trying to process what was happening. One man, a strong-looking individual with graying hair, stepped forward. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice shaky but filled with authority. "We are the Velthari," Zarek explained. "We found your fleet and revived the Defender. We want to help you return to your world." The man's expression softened, and a flicker of hope ignited in his eyes. "You mean humanity is not lost?" he asked. "No," Zarek replied firmly. "You are back, and together we can reclaim Earth." The humans looked at each other, hope rising among them. They had survived the darkness of the past, and now they stood at the brink of a new future. With the Velthari by their side, humanity would return, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. As they prepared to leave the island, Zarek felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had not just revived a fleet, they had brought back a civilization. The adventure was far from over, and the future held endless possibilities. With the return of humanity, Zarek and the Velthari crew felt a surge of hope and determination. The ancient warship, the Defender, was now filled with a blend of Velthari and human crew members, united by a common goal, to reclaim Earth from the shadows of the past. However, they knew they faced a formidable enemy that had long been forgotten. The very forces that had driven humanity to hide away. As the crew prepared for their mission, Zarek gathered everyone on the bridge of the Defender. "We have successfully revived humanity, but we must remain vigilant," he said. "The war that forced them into hiding still lingers. We need to uncover who or what remains of that threat." A human named Commander Jace stepped forward, his eyes fierce. "Our enemies may think we are weak, but they do not know that we have come back stronger. We must find them and show them what we are capable of." The crew nodded in agreement, and Zarek directed them to scan for any signs of life or hostile ships in the area. As they analyzed the data, an alarm suddenly blared. "Alert! Multiple ships detected!" shouted one of the Velthari crew members. The screen showed a fleet of alien vessels approaching fast. Zarek's heart raced. "They found us! Prepare for battle!" he commanded. The crew sprang into action, manning their stations and readying the ship's weapons. As the enemy ships closed in, Zarek took a deep breath. This was the moment they had prepared for. "Hold steady! Let's show them what we can do!" The first wave of enemy ships fired upon the Defender, but the ancient warship was more than ready. The shields flared to life, absorbing the blasts. Zarek smiled, feeling the power of the revived ship. "Return fire! Let them taste the strength of humanity!" The Defender's cannons roared to life, and beams of energy shot out, striking the enemy ships. The crew cheered as one of the vessels exploded in a brilliant flash of light. But the battle was far from over. The enemy was relentless, their numbers overwhelming. Zarek barked orders, and the crew fought valiantly, using the ship's agility to dodge incoming attacks. "We need to find their command ship," Jace yelled, his voice filled with urgency. "If we take that out, we can disrupt their entire fleet." Zarek nodded, quickly scanning the battlefield for the command ship. "There! On the far right!" he shouted, pointing to a larger vessel hovering at the back of the enemy formation. "That's our target!" With a swift maneuver, Zarek steered the Defender toward the command ship, weaving between enemy fire. The crew worked together seamlessly, returning fire and damaging smaller ships that tried to block their path. As they drew closer, Zarek's heart raced. "Prepare to breach their defenses," he commanded. The crew armed the ship's torpedoes, ready to strike. The tension in the air was palpable as the Defender locked onto the command ship. "Firing torpedoes!" shouted a crew member, and the ship shuddered as the missiles launched, streaking through space toward their target. The torpedoes hit the command ship with a deafening explosion, shaking the battlefield. The enemy fleet faltered, and Zarek saw an opportunity. "Now! Charge in and finish them off!" he yelled. The crew roared in approval as they pressed their advantage, pushing the enemy back. The defenders soared through the chaos, dodging debris and enemy fire. Zarek felt a rush of adrenaline as they closed in on the remaining ships. With a final surge of energy, the crew unleashed everything they had. Energy beams lit up the dark void of space, and one by one, the enemy ships were taken down. The Velthari and human crew fought side by side, their spirits soaring as victory drew near. Finally, the last enemy ship exploded in a brilliant flash. The battlefield fell silent, and the crew of the Defender erupted into cheers. "We did it!" Jay shouted, a broad smile on his face. "We've reclaimed Earth!" Zarek's heart swelled with pride. "This is only the beginning," he said, looking around at the united crew. "We have shown our strength today, but we must remember that our true power lies in our unity." As the Defender floated among the remnants of the battle, the crew began to repair their ship and assess the damage. But they were filled with hope, ready to rebuild and restore Earth to its former glory. With humanity's legacy restored and the threat vanquished, Zarek and the crew understood that they had only just begun their journey. Together they would navigate the stars, forging a new path for both Velthari and humans, a future where they could thrive as allies and protectors of Earth. As they set course for their home planet, Zarek felt a sense of determination wash over him. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. Now they would shine brightly, lighting the way for generations to come.